guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Reeve Subaru, Tampa, Florida, and guess what? We have one of those supercars many people dream of owning one day. This is a 2019 McLaren 570S, and of course, as you can see, it's a Spider version with that drop top supercar fun. But before we dive into this McLaren, let's talk about what's going on here. So Bruce McLaren, a race car driver, an engineer, did so much in such a short amount of time. Unfortunately, he met his demise at the Goodwood track. He was testing one of his McLaren Can-Am cars and unfortunately lost his life that day. But you know what? His name was carried on and carried on in a big way. Not only in racing, lots of Can-Am championships, Formula One championships, but also street-going cars. Now, nobody could forget early 1990s, that McLaren F1 supercar, the world's fastest car for so many years. Fast forward to 21st century, McLaren is trying to build a lineup to really give people that opportunity of making the supercar dream happen. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this 570S Spider and see, is this that obtainable dream supercar? Right off the bat, the styling. You're not going to confuse this with a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, or even an Audi R8. And I think that's one of my favorite things, is that they really stand out from the rest of the pack. Now, when we start up front, you're going to see some universal design that's carried throughout many of the different McLaren models, not only if in a 570S or even the new McLaren GT. Headlight housing, really, really small shape. Now, you're going to notice this boomerang design. That actually is meant to reference the kiwi bird, because Bruce McLaren from New Zealand, the kiwi bird, that's the nation's bird. That's where that design actually comes from, is from a kiwi bird. So little fun fact the next time you're on Jeopardy. But everything, of course, is going to be LED lit, headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals. I like the way it's all blacked out with just a little sprinkling of some silver bits on the interior. Look at the nice design, how it wraps around and then brings us into this lower area. Now, what's great is it's just totally open. You have your cooling ability and downforce all in one shot. So this design has all been tested in, obviously, a wind tunnel. We're trying to get cold air to the coolers, but we're also giving us downforce. And one of my favorite things that I love about the style here is the way they went with some metallic gray in the lower corner, with the rest of it being black. It really helps differentiate the area, but you can see how this portion tucks in nicely. Now, as we come across the nose, same exact story. Across that lower bottom, you're gonna get the dark gray metallic. This is gonna give us downforce. It's also about channeling air. This car will do well over 200 miles an hour. That's the length of a football field every single second. We have our McLaren badge, and you can see that boomerang kiwi bird design there is part of the badge. Super clean, love the design, nice rounded, everything flows perfectly into the headlight housing. And then when we get up onto that front mounted trunk or frunk, you can see real clean body line, everything going towards the A-pillar. As we come around the bend, I love the way the fender just kind of extends out and then wraps down, and then look what we're working with wheel and tire setup on here. So you're going to be looking at these beautiful gunmetal gray wheels. It's a 19-inch wheel up front, 225. So not really a wide tire up front, but boy, oh boy, very, very quick steering. You have a low 35 series sidewall, and then lurking behind this multi-spoke wheel, what do we got? We got pizzas. Not the kind you want to eat. You'll probably break your teeth, but these are carbon ceramic rotors, over 15 inches in diameter. They're two-piece, and these are going to give you ultimate braking. Remember, this is technology that was once developed on a Formula One car. It could have been that McLaren Formula One team that were the first to bring that to fruition, but you're going to get this jack-o'-lantern size pumpkin of a 6-piston caliper. I love the McLaren badging on there. These are Brembo calipers. I think that the bright orange, perfect for what we're working with color combination here, but that's going to clamp down on that massive pizza and really just slow this supercar down, like you're going to make your eyes pop out of your head. Now, as we go into the fender, you have these beautiful shaped side mirrors. Look at the way they extend off the bodywork. You got really slim and trim LED lighting in there. And then along the bottom, you got that 570S badge, and I'm digging the gunmetal gray metallic that they bring across the whole lower sill. into the door. Now what's cool is, and I'm gonna have Victor kind of come in a little bit, look at this. Hey, that's my hand, that's a little magic trick. Everything is aerodynamically tuned for this vehicle. It just helps channel more air into the coolers. Remember, this is a twin turbocharged V8, so we got intercoolers. All that cooling air is gonna be dragged into this side vent, and I love the way they went the gunmetal gray metallic. If you're wondering, well, Joe, how do you open up the door? Real nicely. One of my favorite touches on the McLaren is they got that butterfly style door separated from the rest of the pack. Lamborghini, on some of them, they got scissor doors. We have the butterfly door, so easy, closes nicely. You can see that rear tonneau cover, that speedster style tonneau cover. I love the high arches. Not only is this gonna help in, God forbid, a rollover, but it also is giving it tons of style. Look at how far those fenders just flare out. Let's look at the rear tire setup. Now, up front we had 19-inch wheels. Out back we have 20-inch in diameter. These are 285. So this is a rear-wheel drive supercar, not all-wheel drive. We're getting the power to the ground, to the rear. You still got a massive 4-piston Brembo caliper, those carbon ceramic rotors, and I'm telling you, these wheels, that's exactly how I would spec mine on my McLaren if I was getting one, but we're not getting one anytime soon. But as we come around back, really, really super clean. Now, you have some beautiful honeycomb shape metal venting on the back portion. Of course, this is a mid-engine, so the engine is underneath it, a twin turbo V8. Look at how we have a nice kick up to the rear. No big spoilers or anything that's gonna pop out of nowhere. It's all in the design. Look at how they brought the honeycomb design, everything venting. These are your taillights. So there's that boomerang kiwi bird shape LED. We drop down, I'm digging the exhaust, the way they flow nicely with the bodywork. Look at how everything wraps around this massive rear diffuser, because remember, it's not only about generating downforce up top, it's about pulling this car to the ground. I could see all the exhaust plumbing behind this rear bumper fascia with the McLaren badge, but boy, oh boy, this looks like something that Batman would drive. But why don't we go ahead, we're gonna talk about the engine and what that performance really brings. All right, guys, one of the things that I'm actually gonna zonk on talking about the engine is that you actually, as an owner, don't have the ability to show off the engine, especially on this Spider. The actual engine cover has to be removed by a McLaren tech. But something I wanted to just point out, just to kind of make you laugh, is you do have this door here that I could open for you, and what you're gonna have is you're gonna have your coolant and your oil. That's where you're gonna do your filling. But lurking behind that engine cover that we cannot move, you're looking at a 3.8 liter twin turbo V8, 562 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque. It redlines at 8,200 RPM. It's mated to a 7-speed DCT. The car weighs 3,302 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. Top speed, 204 miles an hour, quarter mile in 10.8 seconds. And you know what? You're gonna get some pretty decent MPGs. 16 in the city, 23 on the highway. Not too shabby for a car that could do over 200 miles an hour. But why don't we go ahead, I'm gonna close this up. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's fire up this 570S and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2019 McLaren 570S Spider. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, if this is an attainable supercar, how much is it? Now, brand new, it was well over $215,000. Reeves has it marked at $184,999. It has 10,906 miles. Let's see what you get to the door panels. Now, we're gonna have to do this a little differently because of the butterfly style, but I love all the Alcantara. The orange pinch striping with the stitching is spot on. You can see you got some carbon fiber around the switch gear. Really just a great looking door. And what's phenomenal is that it's easy to operate, which is great as well. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, that same stitching, look at how they do the AC vents. I love the way it's recessed into that corner. And look at the You see the kiwi bird design? Everything is Alcantara. So if you like Alcantara, you're gonna wanna sleep in this McLaren 570. Same thing on the dash. The bright orange really pops nicely. You got 2 AC vents, and then we have carbon fiber. This is the real deal. This is not stick-on. This isn't faux carbon fiber. 7-inch touchscreen, but you know what? This vehicle is not about the touchscreen. It's about the performance. But you'll notice all that beautiful stitch work is just unbelievable. I love the way this is all open, because guess what? This is where you can put your Twinkies, maybe a British scone, since McLaren is a British company. It's got a little tiny cup holder for a bottle of water. We do have an emergency Twinkie cargo net here for the passenger that will definitely keep your Twinkies in the car, because nobody wants to get their Twinkies tossed around it. It's not gonna look pretty. Everything is super low here. Carbon fiber. I like the way it's nice and open, so you're gonna have obviously your push button transmission set up for that 7-speed DCT. Launch control, you could go into your different modes. There's your start stop button. I think it was so smart to kind of tilt it up. A little bit of aluminum trim around there is really nice. You got another little area for some Skittles, maybe those race Skittles, maybe a breath mint. You smoke somebody, throw them a breath mint. That's the least you could do, get that smoky taste out of their mouth. Here's your McLaren key fob. Just as simple as the design is the same thing on this key fob. Really nicely done. Leather on the armrest. It is hard. It is as hard as an old British scone, but it's at a good height. Lift it up. You got 3 USBs and a 12-volt in there, and you could probably put 2 Snickers if you just put them in there. The sad news is if you got a Jimmy John's, you're gonna have to hold on to it. You're not bringing a Jimmy John in my McLaren. You're not bringing any food in my McLaren, that's for sure. Seats, right out of a race car. 1-piece back. I love the perforated leather, the Alcantara, the stitch work. You got your bright orange seat belts. And then one thing you'll notice is that you are literally sitting in a tub. Not a bad tub, but this is a carbon fiber race tub. Much different than your normal car construction, but you guess what? This isn't a normal car. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this McLaren 570S Spider steering wheel. All right, guys, business time, behind the wheel. This thing, I feel like Cinderella. I feel like this is my glass slipper. It fits me perfectly. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm loving the bolstering. You'll see when the top goes up, I got plenty of headroom in here. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, this being a 2019, did they make any changes for 2020? No. No major changes, so nobody's gonna be the wiser. They're gonna think that this is a brand new car. If you're also concerned about the top only weighs about 100 pounds. The hard top weighs about 100 pounds, so you're not gaining a lot of weight by going Spider, and you could actually raise and lower it at 25 miles an hour. Now, with the seats so nicely set up, you'll notice the foot box, I actually have plenty of room. Nice dead pedal, and then you have your billet aluminum brake pedal and throttle. Much different than an Italian sports car where your feet are kind of twisted over to the right. It actually feels really natural in here. Steering wheel does tilt and telescope, which is great, and I'm gonna move it out of the way now. You do have leather, and what you'll notice is no buttons on the wheel. No Bluetooth, none of that garbage. It's just for driving, the act of driving. I love the carbon fiber. You got carbon fiber paddles that are mounted to the steering wheel, and then I'm gonna move the steering wheel out of the way for Victor to show you that dash, all digital. You got your tachometer, speedometer, and then over on the left over there, you actually could go through a bunch of different information. For example, I could bring up my rear view camera real easy, and then you could go and toggle through all sorts of stuff there. Your navigation, real easy to use once you get the hang of it. This does have a lift system. You could raise or lower your McLaren 570. And then over on the right, you got coolant, oil temp, and then you got your fuel and whatnot. So it's real easy to use. I want to show you the top in action. So I'm going to lock the steering wheel. We're going to close the door, and then we're going to go ahead and put the top up. Really nice, smooth operation. You do have storage back there with the top up. So windows come up, things are great, and I'm gonna open the door again, so hopefully I don't hit Victor. But with the roof in place, I got plenty of headroom. You could go do your track day, get your helmet on. It's all Alcantara in here. But before we go for the ride, I want to show you the storage space and show you how usable this supercar really is. All right, guys, usability time. So you can see we have a usable frunk. That's a front-mounted trunk, large opening. You could easily put 2 carry-ons. And then I'm going to have Victor go down the driver's side. I'm going to go down the passenger side and show you the other storage area. So with the top up, you can see you have about 7 cubic feet of space. It shrinks, of course, when you put the top down, and that's gonna be the issue. You're gonna have to move everything to the front, but it is nice for them to give you this usable space. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready for an eargasm, I'm definitely ready for an eargasm. Let's take this 570S Spider for a spin. All right, guys, we left Reeve Subaru. We're in the 2019 McLaren 570S on throttle. God! Wow! Oh my God! The crazy thing is, it's so seamless and smooth. So seamless and smooth. Unbelievable. Steering wheel, you feel so connected to those front wheels and tires. It almost feels like I think it and the car's gonna move. Paddles are a great size. I think for a lot of people, you're gonna like them being mounted to the steering wheel. I prefer them mounted to the steering column, but the dash is easy to read. Seats hold you like a catcher's mitt holds a baseball right over home plate. Absolutely digging this whole layout of this vehicle. And with it being a supercar, it doesn't need to beat you up. You can actually drive this on a regular basis, and I feel like I could drive this all day long. I really want to drive it all day long. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle, here we go. Woo! Wow, you get to the corner in a hurry. Wow, look at this. Unbelievable, the grip. Golly. Wow, so smooth. I mean, from one turn to the next, the steering is just so on point. It's ridiculous. Absolutely love the feedback you're getting to the wheel. You know, you're waiting a little bit for the boost, but not much, and you're off and running. That's how good this thing is. Wow. All right, guys, we got the top down. We're ready. On throttle. Here we go. Wow, that 7-speed DCT. Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable, the sensation that you get as it pushes you back in your seat and really just causes all these awesome feelings. It is amazing. Little bit of launch control there. God, this thing. It just really shows what you're getting when you go McLaren. The directed feel, the connected feel. You have launch control. It's really easy to use. You just come to a stop, you hit the launch button, you hold down throttle, and then you release brake and you're off and running. It's that simple, and that's how simple it should be. With the top down, you're getting that great glorious sound of that flat plane crankshaft revving out to more than 8,000 RPM. It really overloads your senses how fast this car is. All right, guys, once again, on throttle. Golly. The way it puts you back in the seat and having the top down and being able to hear that engine just makes all the difference and really brings out all the senses. I mean, it is an eargasm. It just causes you to tingle everywhere throughout your whole body. The shifts from the 7-speed DCT are so quick. So quick. On throttle. shift, those massive carbon ceramic rotors, when those pumpkin-sized calipers clamp down, you're just shedding speed so fast. Pedal feels so rock solid. That's what you get when you go McLaren. I mean, there's a reason why they cost as much as they do, because it's a very, very special, unique car. All right, guys, launch control. Here we go. Release, yeah! Woo! Unbelievable, like being launched out of a cannon. Now I know what that man feels like when I was a kid at the circus. Unbelievable, this car. Second gear, on throttle, all the way up to 8,000 RPM. Wow. What a crazy, crazy ride. And you can have this in your driveway, in your garage, and experience it whenever you want. On throttle. The pops. I don't want to do this, but we got to get back to Reeves Subaru. I know LD's wondering where we're at with his McLaren, so we'll be back in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another one of those days where, boy, oh boy, am I glad that I'm at Reeves Subaru. Definitely want to thank LD and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 570S Spider. It really shows the quality of vehicles that you get from any of the different Reeves locations here in Tampa, Florida. But if you're wanting that obtainable supercar and say that you're doing well, but yet you don't have the ability to drop well over $225,000 on this one, here's a perfect opportunity, 2019, and really can have something that you could drive on a regular basis, but also have that pride in knowing that you have one heck of a British supercar with that McLaren name attached to it. But if you want to keep seeing supercars like these on Ready's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ready's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ready's Rise merch. Got to give it to Crown Vic. He's loving these supercars. He's thinking they're super duper. And you know what? He's putting these posters on his walls and dreaming every night before he goes to bed and while he is sleeping. So thank you, Crown Vic, for sharing your dreams with us. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.